andormarine.com.
You can't beat Burkhart.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
First pitch to Christian. Rocketed into right field for a base hit. Perkins is in. Around third is Contreras. He will score. Chugging for second is Yelich. Get back.
The Brewers run the Padres out of town. Our coverage of the series continues tonight at 6:05 on your home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 101, it's 57 degrees today. Increasing clouds. Windy showers expected late tonight. Some storms could be heavy with a low of 51. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, breezy. Morning showers expected, a high of 64. It's 57 degrees in Milwaukee. At 101 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom.
Neil Squad, if you want to start heading over to Five Guys, we got a report of a motor vehicle stuck with a child in the back seat.
Frightening moments for a family in Glendale Monday after their vehicle was stolen near the Bayshore Shopping Center with a 3-year-old child inside. Glendale police found the vehicle about 20 minutes away near Kendall and Sunny Point with the child still in the vehicle. No one is yet in custody. The man prosecutors say was the last person to see 3-year-old Elijah Vu pled not guilty to child neglect charges.
Jesse Vang's attorney, Timothy Hogan, entered the plea on his client's behalf in Manitowoc County Court this morning. Vang is next scheduled to appear for a status conference in court on June 28th. Vang and Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, have not been charged in connection to Vu's disappearance 8 weeks ago today. Two Rivers Police Chief Ben Meinert has said so far there is no evidence that Vu was abducted or ran off on his own. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
An update to a story we've been following here on WTMJ. The woman who died in a fatal fire near 8th and Hayes on Milwaukee's south side is now identified as 72-year-old Monica Lemke. She was unable to escape the flames that jumped to her house, trapping her on the second floor. A Milwaukee firefighter was severely burned in the rescue effort. Jacinta Ramirez is the granddaughter of the woman who lives in the third house, also damaged by the fire. She tells TMJ4 News she wishes Fire Station 31, which is just a few hundred feet away, was still open and operational.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I feel like if it was open, help could have been here a lot sooner than what it was.
Fire Station 31 has been closed since 2018. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson officially inaugurated for his second term in office.
It's Milwaukee's time to shine.
Another 4 years in store for Mayor Johnson, and education is one of the biggest issues he plans to tackle moving forward. He tells WTMJ,
too many people make decisions about whether they come to Milwaukee, leave Milwaukee, start businesses in Milwaukee based on education. I want to find a way to engage with the education system here more so than what we've seen in the past.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to work.
From City Hall, Julian Johnson, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow currently up about 85.5 points at 37,823. S&P 500 down about 6.5 points at 5,054. And the NASDAQ also down today about 5.5 points at 15,879. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:04.
With crippling inflation, the locally owned Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford has the best Tuesday dining value anywhere. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet is just $9.99. It's all your favorite authentic Mexican food for $9.99. Kids and grandkids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Sunday through Thursday, they can safely play in that huge game room while you finish up your all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet. The Mine Shaft is super affordable and very family-friendly. The Wednesday and Friday fish fry is now just $4.99. That's a crazy low price, $4.99. Stop today for the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for $9.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. Come early today. From 2 till 5, cocktails, beers, and appetizers are half price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft. No reservations needed. Just walk on in. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition.
And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Mothan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call. That's All Sports Desk. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Bucks are preparing to be without Giannis Antetokounmpo for the start of their Eastern Conference first-round series against the Pacers. Hopefully, Giannis will return at some point later in the series. It's not yet been ruled out. Bucks do begin that series on Sunday at Fiserv Forum. Brewers and Padres meet up tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Time for a look at your roads. A WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic update. Standard travel times across the system today. There was a little bit of a hiccup. 43 southbound, Brown Deer to downtown, a broken down vehicle that was out of traffic, and it's since been removed from the system here. So you're back to kind of a normal travel time, which is, of course, about a 2.5 or 3 minute delay through the construction zone. That's 43 southbound, Brown Deer to downtown. Otherwise, enjoy it. You're traveling free on the roads today.
Traffic is sponsored by Lynch McQuanago. The place you want to go. Lynch McQuanago.
Chevrolets, Fords, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Rams. All in one location. The place you want to go. Lynch McQuanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Clouds on the increase this afternoon. Windy and showers are expected late tonight. A high of 65 inland, 58 closer to the lake. Tonight, storms likely before midnight, then breezy, a low of 51. Clouds in the morning along with some rain, then breezy throughout the rest of the afternoon under cloudy skies, a high of 64. Currently 65 degrees and partly cloudy in Madison. Green Bay 58 and sunny. Waukesha 57 and sun, 54 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Today, we are talking about Wisconsin River Barbie. Sells for more than you would expect on eBay.
And we will also be talking about federal approval for a very important program for Wisconsin children throughout the summer. And tell you where you really should go glamping in Wisconsin.
Glamping.
Glamping.
Not to be confused with camping.
We're going to have to figure that out and decide where's the parameters, where's the line.
What's the cutoff?
Yeah.
All right, but first, what if there was an election and no one ran? That was the case in some rural areas where there were no candidates for elected office earlier this month. And there's a number of local races around Wisconsin, and this is usually, like I said, in your rural areas. And there's no candidates, leaving voters with no choice over who will represent them on the local level.
So they won't have anybody represent them? Is that if there's nobody running and they can't vote for anybody?
What happens?
Yeah, what happens?
Well, I saw this. Sophia Voigt, who is a watchdog reporter covering local government and politics in the Fox Valley at the Post-Crescent, wrote about this article. And so I asked her, how often is this actually happening?
Fairly common up here. Here in the Fox Valley and in this area, there was quite a few races that had no candidates, especially on like county boards, especially in like Shawano County, Calumet County, and a few city councils around here. From like the clerks that I talked to, they said any given year they're kind of seeing nobody run or half of the races are uncontested.
And uncontested, because, down here it feels like, even on this past election with judges.
Right.
A lot of times it feels like the judges run uncontested. But
most of the time, yeah.
For county board seats and some of these other roles, is just to have an entire swath of people unrepresented feels like a problem.
Something isn't right, and it speaks to how we feel about government officials nowadays, I think.
Yeah, and so I asked her what happens if no one runs, because I don't think that the seat can just stay empty.
Well, there's a few ways they can do to fill it. If no one's filing nomination papers and has officially got on the ballot at that deadline a few months out from the election, a lot of the times write-in candidates will kind of stand up and they'll go to the clerk and register to be an official write-in candidate, and so you can get candidates that way. Otherwise, if the election passes and there was no write-in candidates and nobody ran for that office, municipalities will put out that elected official as an official job description. They'll advertise it on their websites, asking candidates to submit their interest in this position, and then the official board in that municipality, whether it's county board, city council, will go through all those candidates and pick the one they want, and then they get the job.
So it just becomes a job posting.
We're looking for a groundskeeper at the park, and we need a county board member.
Yeah.
If you could come and represent the people, that would be great.
And I guess that's the most... because it's supposed to be a democratic process, and so it's a little weird to then have it go to a job posting. You're going to post it on Indeed?
And who's going to review those applications and make the determination? Because then you're like, well, sure, the mayor looked at this, but the mayor, this is the mayor's cousin. Of course, they got the job instead of so-and-so, if there's more than one resume that comes in for the position.
And that's why I think talking to a clerk would be interesting to see how, it just is taken out of the hands of the people, but I guess that's preferable than just having the seat stay open.
We left it in the hands of the people, and the people decided not to do anything with it. So now we've got...
Well, people decided not to run.
Right. Those are the people, and then the other people were like, well, we can't vote for anybody. And then the people have culpability all the way down, because people didn't want to run. Then when people saw that nobody was running, nobody stood up to be a write-in candidate. Mm-hmm. Then there was nobody to vote for. Then the municipality had to say, all right, we're going to list this right after dog catcher on our careers post. And the people have to bear the responsibility the whole way down.
Well, and this is largely what happened when we talked about the lacrosse write-in candidates for the school boards, as far as there was 2 people who made the ballot, and everyone else for that third seat was a write-in candidate. Mm-hmm. And so I imagine that the write-in candidates for any of these open seats is a similar process as far as having to count them all by hand. And so the last question I asked Sophia was, is anyone talking about solutions of how to maybe reverse this trend?
I really wasn't hearing so many solutions on that, as much as they're just kind of always actively trying to encourage people to run. They're making it easier by posting things on their website and their social media pages on how to run for elective office. So maybe that will close some barriers to entry, but nothing much other than that.
Wow.
So we need some solutions. We need people to run. We need good people to run. But I would actually love to hear from you. 855-616-1620, the WTMJ talk and text line. Did you have any open seats on your ballot earlier this month? Was there any, when you went to vote, whether there was county boards or school boards, did you come across a seat where there was just no one to vote for? Because I think it'd be interesting to see how common this actually is.
I'm always still baffled when there's uncontested seats. I can't imagine going in and seeing nobody on the ballot for a certain position. That would confuse me a little bit.
Would it inspire you to run?
No, I would never want to be a public official, which may be part of the problem too. I have no interest in having to listen to the rank and file human beings.
And I think that might be some of the reason behind this. When we come back, we're going to talk to Barry Burden, who is a political science professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, about why this trend might be happening, if it's happening more for nonpartisan local government versus partisan seats. So all of that when we come back on Spanning the State.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
Wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Outdoor Living Unlimited turns yards into patios and decks, fire pits, pavers, retaining walls, even screen rooms, outdoor kitchens, and swimming pools. Come see it all at the unique outside-in Gerke's Corners showroom they share with Siding Unlimited at their open house, Saturday, April 27th from 8 to 1. Bring your ideas, motivation, and questions to the product reps at the open house and meet the Outdoor Living Unlimited team. Check sidingunlimited.com and outdoorlivingunlimited.com and then get to the open house, Saturday, April 27th, 8 to 1.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry. And earlier this month, a number of local races across Wisconsin had no candidates, leaving voters with no choice over who would represent them at a local level. And here to talk a little bit more about why this trend might be happening is Barry Burden, who is a political science professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Welcome to the show, Barry.
Hey, good afternoon.
So what are some of the reasons behind maybe fewer and fewer people are running for office?
Well, it's long been a problem in American politics getting people to step up and run for these positions. But I think it has accelerated in recent years, and there are probably a few things going on. One is the job has just gotten harder. There is more controversy and more attention focused on small things done at the local level. National politics, the kind of nastiness of national politics has trickled down to school board politics and county commissions. You know, some of the debates about gender and race have sort of found their way into these local positions. And in some cases, there's a lot of money being spent on campaigns when there is a contested race and just a lot of acrimony. So it's easy to see why that would deter someone who was thinking about a job like this. And it requires a lot of evenings and weekends and email and things that are just difficult without really much compensation, financial or otherwise. So it's sort of amazing that people were willing to run for these offices for so long.
And Barry, in some of the more rural areas, do we run a danger of running out of younger people to run because they leave the smaller towns, head to the cities, and so you're left with people who finally get to a point in their life, they're like, I've done this for a while, I'm tired, I'm done.
Yeah, rural communities are really at risk for a few reasons. One is sometimes the population is actually decreasing as young people leave and the population ages, but the number of positions to fill does not go down. Calumet County, which is one of the counties in that Appleton Post Crescent story, only has about 40,000 adults in the whole county. The county board needs to elect 21 members, and then there are another 20 municipalities in the county that have mayors and town boards and village boards. So it's hundreds of people just to serve kind of basic functions, and the population there is stable, in some places actually declining. One other factor I would point to is the absence of good local news. You know, in the heyday of local newspapers, people actually picked up the paper each morning and found out what happened in the school board meeting or the county commission the night before. And those papers have really, especially the number of reporters, has really declined. So there's just, I think, less awareness of people's local government.
And so beyond local government, do you think it's worse for these nonpartisan seats versus something like the Assembly and State Senate, which we have coming up this fall?
Absolutely. You know, the parties are not much involved in recruiting candidates or supporting candidates who run in these spring nonpartisan elections. You know, they would like to have judgeships filled, and they're concerned maybe about some county board positions. But for the most part, people have to be self-starters. They will have to raise the money themselves. They don't have a party network or a party brand to lean on. So, and you know, just interest and I think awareness is so low that it's difficult to find people to do these kinds of things. So the recruitment just isn't there in the way it is for a partisan office like state legislature.
And do you think, going back to what you said before about the national politics seeping into some of the more local municipality things, do you think that there's a fear of those kind of partisan divides that's keeping people out as well?
Yeah, these are nonpartisan races, but we know from last year's Supreme Court race that partisanship sometimes finds a way in. And so you might think you're doing your community a service by agreeing to run for county board or town board and then get there and find out that there's a lot of animosity and maybe camps that kind of look like the two parties, or they're debating cultural or other issues that are dividing the parties at the national level. And you do that without having much compensation or much in the way of people thanking you for your service. And so it can be pretty demoralizing.
And so a lot of these roles are, when I think of local government, nonpartisan seats, a lot of the stuff they do, I feel like is the grunt work of actually getting things done versus some of the, I'm going to sponsor this bill in the state legislature and it's not going to go anywhere and we're never going to get a hearing. So when I think of school board, when I think of mayor, when I think of city councils, like it's stuff that actually has to like get the garbage picked up. So if we have so many opening seats like this, does local government just start to erode?
I think it's a real concern. I mean, as you say, these are essential functions that people depend on. It's paving the roads and making sure the street lights are turned on and garbage and recycling are picked up. If it's a county office, it might be monitoring the sheriff, or in Dane County, the airport is actually run by the county board, parks, all those kinds of things. And if there aren't elected officials overseeing that process and putting their stamp on the budget and hearing from the public, it makes you wonder how local government can operate. And yet the public really wants those offices to be elected. The Americans like there to be many offices. We have many more than in other countries, and we like them to be on the ballot. So there is a kind of distaste for having someone appointed to oversee a process, but it might be where things are going, as you were talking about before the break.
Barry, in the story we were referencing earlier, it came down to a point where if some of these offices weren't filled, they were just posted as a job. You know, you submit your resume, you apply, you try to get the job. Is that concerning as somebody who follows political science, that now we're going to have somebody just basically picking from a pile of resumes to see who's going to represent people?
Yeah, it really is an amazing development. And, you know, it's happened even here in Madison where I live. Sometimes often there are openings because people who are elected to office step aside before their term ends and it leaves a vacancy. And the other members of the board or the city council will put out a call who would like to step up and fill this slot and basically work their way through the applications. It's a less formal process and pick somebody to finish the term. And that person may or may not then run for office, you know, on their own once the term ends. Yeah, so it's a really strange process that this democratic aspect of local government that Americans so prize is not being used in a way, and is kind of withering and being replaced by a more administrative process that might be more ad hoc, certainly less transparent to the public.
And I don't know if you have any solutions, but when Sophia asked clerks, she said she's not hearing many solutions. Is there anything that you've heard as like nationally that anyone's trying to do to actually drum up more candidates?
Yeah, I think there are several things. One is we can invest in local news. Again, that might be radio, but also newspapers have a really essential role. And there's some interesting kind of nonprofit models that are being developed, getting away from kind of big corporate news, which focuses mostly on national partisan divides and to some degree state politics. So they're still interested in those things, but people have mostly substituted that for local information. So having more good local press is a good thing. Another proposal is to take these spring elections and move them to November so they happen at the same time as other partisan elections. Now, it might have some other negative side effects. You know, you've got partisan and nonpartisan races on the ballot together, and we've often wanted those to be segregated, but it certainly would increase awareness and participation. The other thing I think we can do is just reduce the number of positions. Does Calumet County really need 21 Board of Supervisors and all of these municipalities? And some of our counties, Winnebago County has 36 board members. Los Angeles County only has 5 board members.
Whoa.
So
wow. Hold on.
Sort of a question as to whether we need these many individuals and, compensating them better, actually providing some pay for people who can't take time off work to do these voluntary jobs might be helpful as well.
Well, it seems like all of the above, maybe, but even any of them would be good. Barry Burton is a political science professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Barry.
News time 1:25. This is Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
Hey, John Mercure here for my friends at Dave Dregkamp Heating. When you experience temperatures 10 degrees below zero, more than 15 inches of snow, rain showers, and sunny days in the low 40s, all in a 3-week period, it can only mean one thing. You live in Wisconsin, and that prepared you to be ready for anything. Because here in Wisconsin, anything can happen with our weather. But fear not. For over 42 years, Dave Dregkamp Heating has lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, or winter, even when they all seem to happen at once. Whenever you're experiencing a home comfort dilemma, just call the teams I trust at Dave Dregkamp Heating. From free estimates for new equipment, routine maintenance to ensure your system is ready for anything, or because you simply have a question about your home comfort, call 262-367-2820. 262-367-2820. Dave Dregkamp Heating, because your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDregkamp.com.
Disability Rights Wisconsin's Medicare Part D helpline is here to help disabled or elderly Medicare beneficiaries with questions about their Part D prescription benefit. The Part D helpline may be able to help you save money on your Part D premium, deductible, and copays. For free, unbiased assistance, please call the Disability Rights Wisconsin Medicare Part D helpline any time of the year at 1-800-926-4862. 1-800-926-4862.
So you'd never run for public office, Brian?
No. One of my brothers ran for a township trustee, and he was part of a ticket, and it got into a big partisan thing. It was horrible. They did finally, his ticket won, and they got some stuff done, so that was it. But I'm concerned about what would happen. Like if I ran for my town, like for mayor or on the board of the town, that would be one thing. But I don't want to pull in, like Barry was saying, all these national things. I'm not gonna argue with some schlub about a book ban. You know, I'm not gonna. I don't. No, we're not doing that here. We're focused on, like you said, picking up the garbage, making sure the police and fire department are funded, making sure the schools are safe. That's what we're doing in our town. We're not going to concern ourselves with this. And if you don't want your kid to read a book, okay, don't let them read the book. If you don't, all those big things, and I would be very bad at also listening to citizens scream at me on the street. So, but other
You think
than
you'd scream back?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, yeah, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
You seem more
have-
cut out for public service than me.
I also am big on the inner monologue of the things I would say, but probably don't actually have the guts to say. The amount of fights I've gotten with my brother in the shower when I'm like, not actually in the shower, but in my head in the shower, and be like, I got him, I burned him, and then we never actually say any of those things. All right, when we come back, we'll talk more about if you want to run, what you would need to know. But first, ABC News and local headlines.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. GOP House managers charged with walking the articles of impeachment of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to the Senate are set to deliver those charges more than 2 months after Republicans passed the measure accusing Mayorkas of mishandling the migrant crisis. Mayorkas, meantime, testifying before the Senate today, calling on lawmakers to pass the bipartisan measure to beef up border security and deal with the backlog of asylum cases.
Bipartisan Senate legislation would have funded the Department of Homeland Security with 50,000 detention beds, far more than we are resourced this year, and even more so than we were resourced last year.
Israel's prime minister meeting with his war cabinet again today and says a response is still on the table following Iran's drone and missile attack. The U.S. and other countries are urging Israel not to widen the conflict. And severe storms sweeping across the country, including tornado alerts for the Midwest. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Greg Matzik. A Milwaukee police detective facing jail time after pleading no contest to disorderly conduct. Travis Young, originally accused of fourth-degree sexual assault for groping a coworker while off duty at a department-related event in January of 2023. Young was supposed to stand trial on Monday on that charge, in addition to disorderly conduct. But with his no contest plea, he will be sentenced in May to a maximum of 90 days in jail. Milwaukee police say Young is on full suspension and an internal investigation is ongoing. A Milwaukee man charged in the death of his 12-year-old son is mentally fit for trial. A judge ruled that Roman Moy is able to understand the charges and aid in his defense. Moy's son, 12-year-old Jaquair Robinson, was found dead at the home they shared in October. Medical examiner says the boy's body was malnourished and decomposing. If convicted, Moy faces more than 80 years in prison. And the last Pizza Man location in Milwaukee has closed, the restaurant announcing the permanent closure of its location on Humboldt, which had only been open for about a year. Pizza Man was an East Side staple open for decades on North Avenue before a tragic fire in 2010 destroyed the building. Pizza Man then spent a decade on Downer Avenue before moving to Humboldt in April of 23. The restaurant's last remaining location is in Wauwatosa. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow currently up about 28 points at 37,673. The S&P 500 down about 13.5 points at 5,048. And the NASDAQ also down today about 30.5 points at 15,854. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Time for a look at your roads. A WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving time-saver traffic update. 43 southbound Brown Deer to downtown, a 15-minute ride. Normally it's about 11, so expect about a 4-minute delay if you're working your way through that area. Otherwise, you are seeing standard travel times across the system this afternoon. Increasing clouds today, windy, showers and storms likely late tonight. 65 your high inland, 58 closer to the lake. Storms likely before midnight this evening, then breezy with a low of 51. For Wednesday, mostly cloudy, AM showers, then breezy under cloudy skies with a high of 64. It's 65 degrees in Madison, 58 in Green Bay, 57 in Waukesha, 54 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in 15 grand short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And so we were just talking about how many open seats there were for local nonpartisan elections earlier this month for the spring election. Now, going into this fall, it should be interesting because this is the most competitive our state legislature is going to be in the past over a decade.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of people, there's a lot of incumbents who are not choosing to run again because they've either been drawn out of their district or it's now not necessarily in their favor. But that also opens up room for a lot of new people to run. And so because yesterday was the first day that you can start circulating your nomination papers, I thought it would be interesting as we're trying to recruit. We want to encourage good people to run for public office, despite how hard of a job it is.
One day we'll have to talk about the fact that there are a lot of good people who probably would run, but financially it's a non-starter for them.
That is a whole other
Yes, we'll get
topic.
into that another day.
But I did get a chance to talk to Jack Kelly, who is a state reporter for Wisconsin Watch, who actually wrote about this exact article. So as a public service, he talked about the 5 things to consider when considering whether or not you want to run for office. And the first one was eligibility.
Are you eligible to run for office? Might seem silly, but important. Each office in Wisconsin has different specifications for things like how old you have to be, what the residency requirement is, etc. But there are some basic ones, and those include being a U.S. citizen, being at least 18 years old, and, like I said, meeting the residency requirements for whatever office that you're trying to be an office holder in. So, some require you live in the district on election day. Some require that you live there by the time you would be taking office. You just got to make sure that you are aware of that and that you live in the right place if you are the person who gets elected.
Make sure you live in the right place.
That's surprising to me every time I hear it, that, well, you got to promise us you'll move to this district if you get elected. It's like jobs that say you'll have to relocate. Is that okay? Yeah, I will. So to me, it smacks of you don't really have any connection to this place, but you'll go there if you're elected. But if you're not, forget it. I'm not moving there.
Well, and I think this year's a little different because there's so many, like
Yes,
Bob Donovan had just
stuff.
announced that he's going to run in his new district and he doesn't actually live there yet.
Right.
And so with the new lines,
yes,
I kind of understand this year as far as not living necessarily in the place that you were representing, and so it's a
Right.
little messy this year. But
This year is strange. This year's strange, correct.
But it is a little interesting as far as like, do you even represent? Do you live here, dude?
Yeah, it's very carpetbaggery.
All right. So the next thing to consider are both nominations and deadlines.
Yeah, these ones kind of go together. The second one would be nomination papers, and the third one would be filing deadlines. So, except in some places that use caucuses and in some school board elections, pretty much all candidates who are seeking elected office in Wisconsin need to submit nomination papers to get on the ballot. So what is this? Basically, it is a petition where you have to collect signatures from people that live in the district that you would be representing. You have to have a certain number of them. It varies by office. To run for the state assembly, for example, you need at least 200 valid signatures. And so you kind of have a 2-month window to collect those signatures. It started yesterday, Monday, April 15th. You have until June 1st to collect them, and then you have until June 3rd to submit them. And if you have enough signatures, you will get on the ballot. So that's kind of the nomination papers and filing deadline put together.
Okay. So there's a lot to keep track of, obviously. And you got to know, it's the filing deadline is easy. If they, everybody should know the filing deadline. It's all the other, because all the signatures, all the it's too much paperwork for me.
Well, I have a signature story to get to
Yes.
after we get through. There's 2 more things you got to keep in mind, though, if you're going to run.
Okay.
The next one is campaign finance reports.
Yeah, so these are probably better known as financial disclosure forms. Effectively, if you are a state official or a candidate for public office, you have to file a financial disclosure, and your immediate family also has to file a financial disclosure. So, this reveals who your employer is, what kind of investments you have, any real estate that you own, who are your commercial clients, who are your creditors. Basically, there's supposed to be information that you make public so that you can be held accountable in case there are any conflicts of interest if you are elected.
Sorry, I got that wrong. Economic interest statements. The next one's campaign finance reports.
But this is the one that I think also turns off a lot of people.
You don't want to show your cards?
It's nobody's business.
Well, it's a public's business.
Is it? We had a president who never showed us anything. So I don't know if it's the public's business anymore. I know that's how it always was, but I don't know if we have to do it anymore. And, I know they want to say, oh, this guy's had 18 bankruptcies. I don't think he should be on the county board because he has access to our money. I get that. But every little detail, again, that's what keeps a lot of good people out.
Well, you don't know that.
I do.
Okay, the last thing people need to know is the campaign finance reports.
One thing to consider is doing your campaign finance reports. As a reporter, I find these incredibly important. Basically, as a candidate, your candidate campaign, your campaign committee will be required to file regular campaign finance reports with the state. It's a little different depending on if you're running for federal office or state office. We'll think about state office for the sake of this. And basically, you have to file regular reports disclosing the money that you've raised, how you've spent the money, and also keep in mind that depending on the office that you're running for, you can only accept a maximum of a certain amount of money. So that changes based on the office. If you're a state Senate candidate, you can take up to $2,000 from an individual. If you're an assembly candidate, that's $1,000. And all of that information will be disclosed on your campaign finance filing reports, which happen every few months by and large.
So is that also too much work?
No. That's fine. You have a campaign committee for that. That's what they're for, to make sure your campaign is run legally and correctly, and that you're not, taking campaign money and getting some of that fake Botox that they were talking about before or whatever it is. So no, I think the campaign should definitely have to report in where their money's coming from.
Just not where your money came from before you ran?
Yeah, or where it's coming from right now.
All right, well, the last question I asked Jack Kelly was if it's too late, because as we said, yesterday was the first day to start circulating your nomination papers, and if it's kind of already set that if you're going to run, you've already made the decision. And he said no.
I would say that there are still probably people who are mulling over running and still have quite a bit of runway to make that decision. If you want to run for the assembly, you need 200 valid signatures. 200 sounds like a lot, but, if you're somebody here in Dane County, you can probably get that at the Madison Farmers Market on one Saturday morning. So there's definitely some runway here. If people are considering it and they're trying to get these signatures, maybe don't leave it until the last few days. But if you're still thinking about it, I would say that you probably still have time to make that decision.
There you go. So, and I will say 200 signatures in 2 months.
That's probably pretty easy.
Plenty of time.
Okay.
And so when we come back, I have a story of getting more than 1,500 signatures in less than 10 days during the coldest part of the year and when COVID was spiking.
And did you lose the election, or?
It wasn't for me.
All right.
It was for someone I'm married to. All right, when we come back, I will tell that story. This is Spanning the State.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Hi folks, this is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With spring in the air, a young man's fancy turns to ceiling fans. And at BBC, he'll see all the best quality fans and their newest styles. The new fan electronics provide a great method of moving air, and with LED lights, they use less electricity than ever. We have fans in all sizes, from 24 to 96 inches wide, and their motors are warranted for life. At BBC, we advise you on the right fan for your needs, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday 10 to 4 and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Queen Tempur-Pedic mattresses at Steinhoffel start at only $52 per month with 60-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhoffel's cash. Get the Ergo Smart Base and mattress for just $94 per month with 60-month financing. Only at Steinhoffel's.
I'll say it again. Our mission is to protect and uphold our reputation. And what that means is wherever we go, we make it better for those in need of our services and the great people we have working with us. Our reputation matters. It matters to us, and it should matter to you. We believe that operating with integrity will set us apart from our competitors, and that this attracts people to us that share these same values. I say this because I want you to know when you work with Semper Fi, character counts. It's why you can count on the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty that now includes free annual inspections. And it's why we always have one project manager per job, which is absolutely not the industry standard. When you're paying for a brand new roof to go on what's likely the biggest investment you have, you want it done right, and you want to be able to count on the people doing it. This is Brad Youngwith with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company.
Keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
So you said you have collected signatures?
I don't have a story, I don't think, like yours. My brother used to run, one of my brothers used to be, he used to run campaigns all over the state of Illinois. And his very first campaign, he was running for a state rep. And yes, he recruited the whole family. We were getting signatures. We were working the phone bank. We were handing out palm cards outside the polling places. Yeah, it was...
So you have some experience of what
I have experience of doing that one campaign and then listening to his stories for years and years and thinking... All right, now I know why people don't want it, because he would complain constantly about people who ran for office, but the worst part is they have to call people for money.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't want to call people for money, you better
don't get into politics.
Yeah, not get it. So how were you out in the blistering cold?
So this rewind to Christmas of 2021, turning into the very beginning of 2022.
Okay.
My then fiance, now husband, decided that he was going to run for mayor
of
Milwaukee. And
really?
So former Mayor Tom Barrett had stepped down to take his seat in Luxembourg.
Okay.
And I think everyone kind of knew that the top is our current mayor, Cavalier Johnson. Was probably going to win, but nevertheless, my husband has always said that he wanted to run, so he threw his name in the hat. And because it was a special election, the timeline went it got truncated. So basically, we had 10 days. I think it started between December 26th and it must have been January 6th or 5th, 6th or 7th. And
it's
it
a
was
horrible time.
So cold. and COVID was spiking, and you didn't have to do 200 signatures like you do for the state legislature. You had to get 1,500.
Wow. And
we worked our butts off, but we did it. And he got on the ballot, and he didn't get past the primary, but he did get on the ballot. And how hard he worked to do that. And it was also a great experience because we got to talk to so many people.
And what was his platform? What was he running on?
He was the business guy.
The business guy? Young business guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so yes, it was a good experience, but also I think he's good not doing it again.
Well, he took his shot. We'll see.
He still gets people saying, people come up to him and said that they voted for him, and it was a good experience. But again, I kind of left it being like, this is why good people don't run for a lot of different reasons.
Now, all right. So what goes into that decision? Did he already have like a campaign committee set up, or was it just Christmas Eve? You guys got drunk and he went.
No, he had been wanting to run. One of the first things when we matched on Hinge, he saw that I was into politics with all my As Goes Wisconsin stuff. And one of his opening lines was, "Hey, I see you're into politics. I want to run for office one day. Maybe I can pick your brain about it."
And it worked.
And here we are with a baby.
Wow, look at that.
All right, when we come back, a Wisconsin River Barbie sells on eBay for a lot more than you'd expect. This is Spanning the State.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GIFT for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's promo code GIFT.
Burkhart Sporting Goods has a great reputation for producing custom team apparel. We're total team outfitters and we can handle the biggest jobs. Our success in custom team apparel led us into group and corporate apparel. Plus, we have a full selection of promotional products for employee gifts, special events, you name it. And we've made it easy for our customers to firm up their orders. The group sale web stores that we build for our customers are a simple way of gathering all the information you need. They're easy to work, easy to understand, and with them you'll have access to nearly limitless options. We've seen that most times we're better priced than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer. Plus Nike and Under Armour choices that the other guys can't get. And we offer a huge brand selection from Yeti, North Face, and Carhartt too. This is Brian Burkhart. For team, group, or corporate custom outfitting and promotional products, it's going to be really hard to beat our prices, selection, and ease of buying for any size budget and every size company. And that's why we always say,
you can't beat Burkhart.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Very fair price. No real estate agent fees or closing costs.
Within weeks, we had closed and couldn't be happier.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you're like me, my home has become my happy place. It's happier now thanks to CertaPro painters. They are simply the best in the business. They will take care of the scuffs, the faded colors. They'll make your home a new home, inside or outside. They did the work at our house. It was quick, easy, and so affordable. Their estimates are always easy. You get a quote right away. It's simply the best in the business. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
There are approximately 678,000 current or former employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of the Wisconsin retirement system, covering state and local government employees, including local police, firefighters, and publicly employed teachers. Join Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ Steve Scafidi for a special webinar, Understand Your WRS Potential, Tuesday, April 30th, 4 p.m. What does your most recent statement mean? What might you be missing? This free webinar is designed to answer your questions. Register at annexwealth.com/events.
Wisconsin River Barbie, Wolf River Barbie, Waterlogged Barbie. It sounds like she has a lot of different names.
Oh, this is all one Barbie?
This is one singular
right.
Barbie who, if you would like to see how tore up this Barbie is, text Barbie to 855-616-1620. But yesterday we talked about the 4-year-old girl who was part of the she and her dad were fishing, and they found a shipwreck. Well, Ed Bieber is a scuba diver who picks up trash he finds while diving. And he's a Wisconsin man, and he says it started about 5 years ago when he was just picking up fishing lures on the banks of the water. And so he said that escalated, and so now he's on a mission to clean up rivers across Wisconsin. And on one of his last dives, he came across a 1990s Barbie doll.
I don't know Barbies. Are 1990s Barbies like the peak of Barbies?
No.
Okay.
Not. And especially this one was, if you imagine, being found in the river in rough shape.
Yeah.
Not pristine. Not still in the box. Not looking like a collector's item whatsoever.
No.
And so a friend suggested to him that he try to sell her. And so he started an auction on eBay for 99 cents.
It's about right. That's a good price.
Within a day, the bidding was up to $100, which is a lot more than a Barbie doll costs.
For a waterlogged Barbie.
And then by the time bidding ended, the Barbie was sold to a woman also living in Wisconsin. Guess how much she bought this Barbie for?
$500. Higher than $500?
Higher than $500.
Did she order it from an insane asylum?
No, she got it on eBay.
But was she living in an insane asylum?
No, she's living in Wisconsin.
Well, all right.
Depending on what part of Wisconsin.
So it's more than I don't know, $1,000?
A little bit more than $1,000.
Stop it. How much?
$1,225.
All right.
For again, if you want to see what this Barbie looks like, we'll send you there's a newscast that covered this story, and text Barbie to 855-616-1620. But the good news is for $1,000 to $1,225, Ed did not pocket that money.
Good for Ed.
He is going to donate it to help the environment.
Well, I that's very nice of Ed. He's like the P.T. Barnum, though. He found a sucker that was going to pay $1,200 for a waterlogged Barbie.
There's a bunch of people that got the price up.
It's crazy, though. Because now, if you would, I don't know, like I said, I don't know Barbies, but I'm guessing like if you had found one of the first Barbies, like a 1950-something Barbie, okay, yeah, maybe you could clean it up. But this Barbie looks like she's been, living on the streets and then in a river for a while.
This looks like the crazy Barbie.
Yes.
The crazy Barbie from the movie that's been drawn on and been loved hard. But, all right, so again, if you want to see what this Barbie looks like, text Barbie, B-A-R-B-I-E, to 855-616-1620. When we come back after the news, we will spin the state.
Yay.
This is Spinning the State.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, boaters! Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stacked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or two. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Explore outdoor living this Saturday from Eric Brown, the president of Outdoor Living Unlimited. He knows his stuff. They expand your living space with decks, patios, fire pits, even outdoor kitchens, and can show you a virtual reality of it all for starters. Outdoor Living Unlimited did a great job at the Matzik household. We love it. So listen and call Eric this Saturday on WTMJ's Fix It Show and check out OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
There are approximately 678,000 current or former employees, retirees, and beneficiaries of the Wisconsin retirement system, covering state and local government employees, including local police, firefighters, and publicly employed teachers. Join Annex Wealth Management and WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for a special webinar, Understand Your WRS Potential, Tuesday, April 30th, 4 p.m. What does your most recent statement mean? What might you be missing? This free webinar is designed to answer your questions. Register at annexwealth.com/events.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
First pitch to Christian. Rocketed it into right field for a base hit. Perkins is in. Around third is Contreras. He will score. Chugging for second is Yelich. Get back.
The Brewers run the Padres out of town. Our coverage of the series continues tonight at 6:05 on your home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2:02, 55 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight's storms likely before midnight and breezy, a low of 51 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, jury selection continues in the Donald Trump trial in New York. It's among a number of ongoing trials at the Manhattan Criminal Courts building. Potential jurors don't know what case they've been called to until they enter the courtroom and see the former president.
Jury pool member Kara McGee was among a group called to the courtroom where former President Trump is standing trial. She says she was filled with conflicting feelings.
On the one hand, it's this enormous feeling of you're part of history. And on the other hand, it's this huge public figure who you've seen in the media for so long, and you see him in person, and he's just some guy.
McGee said she would have been impartial if chosen, but was excused for scheduling conflicts. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Yell Squad, if you want to start heading over to Five Guys, we got a report of a motor vehicle stuck with a child in the back seat.
Frightening moments for a family in Glendale after their vehicle was stolen near the Bayshore Shopping Center yesterday with the 3-year-old child inside. Glendale police found the vehicle 20 minutes away near Kendall and Sunny Point with the child still in the vehicle. No one was hurt. No one is in custody. The man prosecutors say was the last person to see 3-year-old Elijah Vu pled not guilty to child neglect charges.
Jesse Vang's attorney, Timothy Hogan, entered the plea on his client's behalf in Manitowoc County Court this morning. Vang is next scheduled to appear for a status conference in court on June 28th. Vang and Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, have not been charged in connection to Vu's disappearance 8 weeks ago today. Two Rivers Police Chief Ben Meinert has said so far there is no evidence that Vu was abducted or ran off on his own. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
As we root for the Brew Crew at home this week, the QR code-based parking payment system is still out.
We're a little gun-shy.
Brewers President of Business Operations Rick Schlesinger tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News last night's game, today's game, and tomorrow's game will have the old cashier system to park while they get all the kinks out of the new digital system that did not seem to cooperate on opening day.
We got to make sure the system works. We got to figure out what's wrong, and we need a plan. And they've been great in terms of outsourcing a lot of the computer issues and dealing with some really good technical expertise. And again, we want to get it right.
Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green today. The S&P right now is up 8 points. The Dow up 171. That's almost 0.5%. The NASDAQ is up 32 points on the day. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. Sports traffic and weather up next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:04.
We've all experienced that feeling of lacing up a brand new pair of shoes.
And for some reason, it always felt like new shoes made you run faster, jump higher, and of course, look better.
Yeah, it was almost magical.
A brand new set of tires on your car or truck will instantly give you that same magical feeling.
Courtney, I couldn't agree with you more. A new set of treads always makes your vehicle look better, but more importantly, allows you to stop faster and grip the road a whole lot better.
Which is necessary when the weather is bad and driving conditions are poor. You'll appreciate having the extra traction.
Remember, there isn't a tire brand on the planet we can't get.
Everything from Goodyear Continental and Kelly to Dunlop General and Pirelli. If we sell it, we install it.
Plus, every tire we sell automatically comes with free flat tire repair. So be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Rich Lawns.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Do you have achy joints like a bad knee or maybe an elbow that barks at you and you want to get help, but the idea of surgery or steroids makes you cringe? Well, there is another way. QC Kinetics. It's the future of medicine. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. We're talking natural biologics using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp. Dr. Scheinkup's a pioneer in this field. 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, and he wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. QC Kinetics. They've got 2 locations, one in Greenfield, another in Mequon. Call today to find out how they can help you. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Get your free consultation from QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. According to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, the Milwaukee Bucks are preparing to be without Giannis Antetokounmpo for the start of their Eastern Conference first-round series against the Pacers, but are hopeful he'll return sometime later in the series. The Bucks begin a best-of-7 series Sunday at Fiserv Forum. And the Brewers and Padres meet up tonight in Game 2 of their 3-game set. Coverage begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ. Let's check out those roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Pretty easy ride out there. One delay, I-43 southbound Brown Deer into downtown. Usually an 11-minute trip. It's going to take you an extra 3.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Here's your 5-day forecast. Tonight, storms are likely before midnight. Some could be heavy. Breezy tonight, a low of 51. More rain tomorrow morning, a high of 64. Thursday, partly cloudy, chance for rain, a high of 57. Friday, partly cloudy, 54. Saturday, partly cloudy, 51 degrees. Right now in Madison, mostly sunny and 65 degrees. In Green Bay, lots of sunshine and 58. Waukesha, sun-cloud mix, 57. And in Milwaukee, partly cloudy and 54 degrees. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. It is the 2 o'clock hour, which means
we take a spin around the state to highlight some of the stories you may have missed on a little segment we like to call Spinning the State on Spanning the State. Where are we going first?
Let's
Kristen?
spin it. Sheboygan. All right. WPR reports that public school board listed, quote, Christian values among desires for superintendent.
Well, church and state, that makes sense, yeah.
Yes.
Blend them all together.
So school board members in Sheboygan County District listed Christian values and conservative politics as desired characteristics in a posting for a superintendent position at a public school. It sounds like maybe there wasn't anyone who ran for it, which is why it's getting posted as a job posting.
Wow.
So just a reminder, the Civil Rights Act of 1974 makes it illegal for for employers who discriminate on the basis of religion. So, upon seeing this, someone sent an email saying, how can a public school district legally limit its hiring to people who are Christians? And a law firm is actually behind trying to run the recruiting of this new superintendent. And they responded saying, thanks for your email. That was a comment made during the focus groups, and you are correct. That should not have been part of the report. It will be removed. And then the school board president, Chad Hoopman, responded to WPR when they asked about this and said that as part of the process for hiring superintendent, focus groups met, and any characteristic mentioned by any participant in attendance is recorded and appears on the list of traits for that particular focus groups for a complete transparency of the process. But he said there was a disclaimer made that the comments should be considered personal opinions of the individual making the comments, but that the person who was concerned was right that publicly listing Christian as a desirable characteristic by the school board members would give candidates the impression that they would not be considered if they weren't of that religion. So it has since been taken off, and the job posting has been reposted. And as of today, it looks like it is still open.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, because all the Christian people are like, well, if they're going to hire anybody, we don't want to be any part of it. I wonder where that disclaimer was posted.
I don't know.
It wasn't in the ad. But let's go to another place around the state.
Superior.
Oh, Superior. I don't know if you know this, but every year there are Superior Days, and high school and college delegates go to the state capitol, and they talk to the governor, and they talk to leaders. So dozens of them were down there the other day, and they're students to senior business leaders, their civic leaders. They all come down, and they talk to the governor, like I said, and they talk to people who they think maybe aren't really paying attention to the northwest corner of the state. So they had activities like speeches by the governor, other officials were there, a behind-the-scenes look at lobbying for Northwest Wisconsin at the Capitol, and the parade of products showing off the region's wares, ranging from kombucha and bagels, which when I think Northwest Wisconsin, those are the two things that pop right to mind, to a soon-to-be christened floating classroom and research vessel, which sounds really cool. That's going to be harbored in Lake Superior earlier this year. So hopefully some of these young people are the people we were talking about who will step up because they're already involved in their government, and now maybe they'll continue on that pathway.
All right. Let's see where we're going next. Schofield. Lunch debts in the Wausau and D.C. Everest area school districts are over $20,000. This fundraiser aims to help. So Yao Yang, a pastor at the Cross Church of Schofield, has started a GoFundMe, and he wanted to raise over $20,000 to pay off the negative lunch balances at this school district. And so he reached out to the school district and learned that there was a lot of outstanding debt, which I always think is interesting. Like, I get it, but the fact that a child can go into lunch debt is... Yeah.
We'll get them. We're preparing them for later in life.
Yeah, exactly.
Student loans, credit cards. It starts with lunch.
So he started a 7-day GoFundMe campaign, and as of today, I checked it out. They've reached their goal. They're at $23,500.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Those third graders must feel great to be debt free. What a load off their backs.
All right, one more.
Sturdivant.
Racine County harm reduction vending machine released in Sturdivant. That is they placed a harm reduction vending machine in their office in Racine County at the Public Health Division. The machine provides Narcan and fentanyl test strips at no cost. You can go in and get those tests, even if you're not a Racine County resident. Officials say the aim of the harm reduction vending machine is to increase access to life-saving resources and reduce the stigma in the community. And you may be thinking, well, is that a big deal? Yes. Last year, Racine County saw a record high rate of suspected opioid overdoses. In 2023, there were 175 reports of suspected opioid overdoses. That is a 103% increase from 2022. 80% of toxicity deaths in 2023 were opioid related. So now you can go in to the public health office on Rain Road in Sturtevant, and it's just inside the main entrance, and you can get that Narcan and you can get those fentanyl test strips.
These are popping up all over the state.
They are, and it's. I think I saw the first story about this about a year ago when they were starting them, and if that's your thing, it's better to be safe.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the impact ends up being, because there's a lot of federal grants that came in to be able to, for different counties and municipalities to invest in these. And I think, obviously, with that comes, let's see how helpful they are to avoid overdoses.
Especially with that many deaths.
Exactly.
All right, we have spun the state, we span the state, and that's it. On the other side, we're going to talk about Wisconsin being the first state to get federal approval for a very important program that will help your children during the summer months. We'll get to that and more. Spanning the state.
He asked,
if I could be a host on WTMJ's Wisconsin's Morning News, I think that would really be the pinnacle of my career.
So we answered. Jeff Levering as our Brewers 360 guest every Wednesday at 7:45.
I don't know how I could call a game without the suggestions I get from Eric and Vince.
So in Arizona, you could drop I was in the pool if the ball lands in the little pool.
Oh, outstanding.
If they hit a home run. So there you go. You're welcome.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Holiday Automotive.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Yes, dents, dings, and accidents happen. Get your vehicle ready for springtime cruising at Heiser's Collision Centers. Our certified body shop technicians and painters, they have 10 plus years of experience. So no matter the damage, we'll get your vehicle looking brand new. We work on all makes, take all insurances, and have discounts for non-insured vehicles. So relax and enjoy one of our complimentary loaners while you wait. Schedule today at Heiser.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Doonan, and as sometimes happens, there is miscommunication when you are doing a live broadcast, whether it's TV, radio, and we were supposed to talk to Sherry Tussler about this summer program, but we will talk about it ourselves, because when you think about kids and hunger, you may not know that a lot of times, for a lot of students, the only food they get is when they go to school. They get their breakfast and lunch, and then they go home. And now sometimes, there's some food at home, but sometimes there's not. And what we don't think about, as a lot of us, when we were in school, look forward to summer break. Well, I've learned over the years, it's a very high anxiety point for a lot of students because there's no food. And so Wisconsin is the first state that has received federal approval for a summer EBT program. EBT is the electronic benefit transfer. And this new program is going to help families and feed children over the summer months when schools closed. The governor announced this the other day. It's going to provide funds to low-income families with school-age children, and they can purchase groceries during the summer months. The program was authorized permanently by Congress in 2022. It was based on what they started doing during COVID-19, and different districts throughout the country do things differently. But Wisconsin is the first to get the approval to do this during the summer. And according to the governor, he said, making sure our kids have enough to eat is critical for supporting their success in and out of the classroom. Unfortunately, when school is out, many families lose access to one of their most reliable sources of healthy meals. So if you're wondering, well, what are these families going to get?
Yeah.
They're going to get $120, and it's going to be on like a debit card. So you're going to get $120 per eligible child, and that's
for the whole summer.
For the whole summer. So you're going to get this. It's you can use it at groceries and convenience stores. Some farmers markets are going to take it. Any places that accept food share benefits will have it, and so you know. This way the kids can eat. It's a shocking percentage of kids that go without, food, and that are food insecure throughout the state.
Was this something that you said you've come to learn? Is this because something that you had experience with when you were teaching?
It was when I first started teaching, as the year comes to an end, people are getting very excited, and one day the principal sent out a note to all the teachers and said, hey, you might want to pull back a little on the excitement about summer break because there's a lot of kids for the food reasons, but then for emotional reasons too, where they're not, they don't feel secure. Coming to school is a safe place.
Yeah.
It's a safe place to eat. It's a safe place for emotional support. And now all of a sudden their schedule, their routine is being thrown off for 3 months, and they're just they're out. There are, like I said, so many children who aren't food secure.
Yeah.
That this is a great program. Now the other thing.
Also just thinking about what we were talking about in Schofield, as far as the lunch debt.
Oh, yeah.
That kids can accumulate.
Right. And and I know there are people who are like, wow, I don't believe in free lunch and free breakfast. Well, I don't know if you've seen it. It's not gourmet food. It's enough to keep a kid going,
Well, and especially if you're expecting them
stomach.
to pay attention in class.
Right.
And being hungry, I don't think is a good state of mind when trying to pay attention.
No, and there's a lot of issues with school lunch programs, with waste and what's going on the plate and all that. But at least it does give a kid an opportunity to have something to eat. So families who already have their Quest card or their PEBT card from the pandemic are going to get the benefits on the existing card. If you don't have one of those cards, you'll be sent one in the mail with the benefits preloaded. There's another program that's going on now that is it's becoming more difficult to use. So in January, remember, we had all the power outages. The balloons, I blame the balloons. They took out the power lines. That was the thing. So a lot of people who use food share had all their food spoil because the refrigerator went out. Well, a lot of people don't know this, but you can get reimbursements. And
really?
If your power goes out and your food spoils, you can get reimbursements. However, it's kind of difficult.
I was going to say, how do you prove that? Or what are the
that's
red tape around that?
That's the problem, because back in January, only 6% of the over 12,000 people who use food share applied for this reimbursement, because there's sometimes you have to do handwritten receipts. Sometimes you have to try, I don't know if you show pictures, there was a lot. But if you go to the Hunger Task Force, they will help you figure that out. If you're in southeast Wisconsin, if you are in Menominee up there, you can go to the Menominee Food Distribution Program. They will help you get all the information you need to do this. And you could go to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services website. Know it's going to take some time, and know it's going to be a little convoluted and difficult. But if you need it, you can get some of your money back and get those replacements on your food share so that you can eat.
You can, yeah. It's still shocking to me how there can be so many people who suffer from food insecurity, and also simultaneously how much food gets wasted all the time, whether it's, like you said, school lunches, whether you think about restaurants. I remember my friends worked at Brugger's Bagels in Madison, and this is Stay with me.
I'm staying. I'm here.
They couldn't serve the bagels the next day, right?
Right.
So every day they would just throw out hundreds of bagels. And so this is the funny part of it. It became, with our class and the class above us, the prank was instead of TPing people's yards, they would bagel people's yards. But that's such a waste of food.
It is a waste of food. I worked when I was in high school and early college. I worked at a grocery store in a produce department. And we would have a ton of produce. And I would always think the same thing. Why are we throwing this away? And finally, a couple of us talked to the manager. We're like, hey, can't we donate some of this to food banks and stuff? No. And
There's
you know
all these
why?
rules.
Lawyers. Because if God forbid you donate, I don't know, 8 cases of lettuce that may be passed a little bit, and they're still edible, but if somebody gets sick, suddenly you're on the hook.
So it's good that these programs are in place. I think it's great for the kids. And it also just, in general, the fact that no smart person has been able to figure out how we can reduce food waste and reuse food and get to people who need it is above my pay grade, but sheesh.
But it's out there. So at least if you're in that situation, make sure you check into it. We have been approved in Wisconsin to get that summer EBT program going.
All right.
All right. After this, there's more. It's Spanning the State.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated, might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
You love and care for your parents, and now it may be time to help them move forward to a new lifestyle tailored to who they are today. Hi, this is Jean Nemelvitz from Bruce's team. The thought of sorting through years of memories and treasures can stop you in your tracks, but our team has all the services you'll need to make the process smooth and easy. Our team is ready to take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Give us a call at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
Someone on the text line said that when the power went out, they ate 4 Klondike bars.
Really? Well, you don't want to
When's the last time you had a Klondike bar?
I have not had a Klondike bar in forever. You know, I like.
What's your go-to frozen treat? Like if the ice cream truck comes, what are you going for?
That's a hard one, but I would say from the time I was a young man, the Good Humor, either the strawberry eclair or the chocolate eclair bars. They've got the crumb on the top, and then it's
This is a frozen ice cream
Yeah, it's an ice
treat?
cream bar.
Oh.
Strawberry shortcake is the one, and chocolate eclair is the other. And they
sounds
used to be
delicious.
Good Humor. Oh, they're unbelievable. And the weird thing was, I never liked strawberries, but that strawberry ice cream bar, because it was vanilla and then this pink goo in the middle. Oh man, it was fantastic.
I go for a drumstick.
Drumstick is a solid choice.
Mm-hmm. Bomb pop, drumstick.
Bomb pops are good. Boy, it's like we're six. Bomb pops and drumsticks. Now have you seen an ice cream truck come around lately?
No. I don't think I've seen one since I moved to Milwaukee, if I'm being
Really?
totally honest. Yeah.
We have like one that comes around a couple times a year. It's creepy.
All right, ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. 2 months after narrowly passing a measure to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, House Republicans delivered the resolution to the Senate.
The articles amount to an indictment of the Homeland Security Secretary, charging him with failing to stop the flow of migrants across the U.S.-Mexico border.
Alejandro N. Mayorkas has repeatedly violated laws enacted by Congress regarding immigration and border security.
Tennessee Republican Mark Green, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, presented the articles to the Senate. Democrats may seek to swiftly dismiss the charges, which they consider partisan and unfounded.
ABC Stephen Portnoy. In New York City, Donald Trump back in court for the second day of the hush money payment trial. His attorneys started to question potential jurors individually, and word now that 3 jurors have been seated. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke with his Chinese counterpart today, the first time both countries have restarted military communications since November of 2022. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:31. I'm John Mercure, a Milwaukee police detective facing jail time after pleading no contest to disorderly conduct. Travis Young was originally accused of 4th-degree sexual assault for groping a co-worker while off-duty at a department-related event in January 2023. He pled guilty. Milwaukee police say Young is still on full suspension, and an internal investigation is ongoing. The man prosecutors say was the last person to see 3-year-old Elijah Vu pleads not guilty to child neglect charges. Jesse Vang's attorney, Timothy Hogan, entered the plea on behalf of his client in Manitowoc County this morning. Vang and Vu's mother, Katrina Bauer, have not been charged in connection to Vu's February disappearance. Then the last Pizza Man location in Milwaukee has closed. The restaurant announced the permanent closure of its location on Humboldt, which had only been open for a year. The restaurant's last remaining location is in Wauwatosa. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green, the S&P with a 7-point gain so far today. The Dow is up 156. The NASDAQ is up 34 points on the day. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite, financial planning at every level. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check out your roads on this Tuesday. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Not much in the way of a delay out there. One little one, I-43 southbound, Brown Deer to downtown. The normal spot, about 2 minutes longer than normal to get to that location. And your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Storms likely before midnight tonight, a low of 51. The rain lingers into tomorrow morning, a high of 64 tomorrow. On Thursday, partly cloudy, a high of 57. Friday, partly cloudy, 54. Saturday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 51 degrees. And Madison, right now, cloudy and 65 degrees. In Green Bay, sunny and 58. Waukesha, a little rainy, cloudy mix, it's 57. And in Milwaukee, cloudy, drizzly, 54 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for J.D. Griffiths. It was time for us. Our house was 20-plus years old, and the garage doors were getting dated. They were dinged up, and they were really hurting the value and the look of our house. That's why we called J.D. Griffiths, a local company. They've been at it in Milwaukee for more than 70 years, providing premier garage doors and building detached garages. We've got our new doors now, and they pop. I still got neighbors talking to me about it. Now, J.D. Griffiths does have an exclusive offer right now for you, the WTMJ listener. With any purchase of a new garage door, you can save $100 on your garage door opener. Just call 414-362-7222 and mention me, WTMJ's Eric Bilstead, or fill out the form at jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ to schedule your free at-home estimate and claim your deal. That number again, 414-362-7222. J.D. Griffiths.
Beautify your entertainment space with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hi, this is Gina Della from Pella. Turn your ordinary space into something extraordinary with brand new Pella windows. Plus, getting the perfect windows and doors for your home has never been easier. Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months, or no down payment, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months if you book before April 30th. Take ownership of your living space and make it a place worth living with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Outdoor Living Unlimited turns yards into patios and decks, fire pits, pavers, retaining walls, even screen rooms, outdoor kitchens, and swimming pools. Come see it all at the unique outside-in Gerke's Corners showroom they share with Siding Unlimited at their open house, Saturday, April 27th from 8 to 1. Bring your ideas, motivation, and questions to the product reps at the open house and meet the Outdoor Living Unlimited team. Check sidingunlimited.com and outdoorlivingunlimited.com and then get to the open house, Saturday, April 27th, 8 to 1.
It's Spanning the State, here until 3 o'clock, then it's Wisconsin's Afternoon News. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. Brian, are you a camper?
No. I camped, I was in Boy Scouts, so I camped then. And the last time I camped was 7 years ago at the Eclipse. We slept in a field. Okay. I think I told you that. But no, and I've wanted to. I look into it because... One, I'm too old to be just laying
on the ground.
Just laying on the ground. But I've looked at like tents. Now tents are tall, and I'm also 6'5", so
yeah. You're not a small potato,
right? So, but now they have beautiful tents that have like 8-foot clearance, and they've got cots, and I'm like, that would be fun. But the initial outlay of cash to outfit us for a camping excursion, I could stay at a really nice hotel.
You're like, I'll go for the nice hotel.
Right, because people, well, but then you'd have the equipment forever. Yeah, but what if I hated it? Then I'm stuck. Now I'm outfitted like Grizzly Adams, and yet I only want to stay at, the Courtyard.
Never to be used again. Yes. I don't know, if you can get $1,200 for a Barbie on eBay, maybe you could sell some of that stuff.
Sure, if I left it in the river for a while.
Well,
How about you? Are
we
you
were
a
never.
camper?
So I grew up in a family that did not camp.
Okay.
The funny story with our family is my father, similar to you, who's even taller, 6'8", not a camper.
No.
And his side of the family, when I was really young, there was a camping trip, and all of the other siblings and my grandparents had tents, and my father showed up in a rented RV.
Good for him.
And then everyone wanted to sit in the air conditioning the whole weekend. So we grew up not camping, but now I am married into a family that camps. And I as the tough girl badge of honor, I went camping 7 months pregnant last summer and slept, on an air mattress, but on an air mattress on the ground in the tent. And I did not complain once.
Good for you.
So I would say, yes,
That's tough.
I think I'm good for 2, at most 3 days.
Yeah.
With some kind of shower situation potentially, and some, I am not Davy Crockett, but I am.
So you don't want to just bathe in the creek?
I actually don't. For 2 to 3 days, I'll jump in the water and call it a bath.
That's enough. Yeah, I need somewhere to shower, and I like an indoor a water closet.
So you may be a good candidate to go glamping.
I would love to glamp. It sounds very fancy, glamping, and you might not have to go as far as you think for some fancy glamping. There, according to a new publication, they did a study. They gave out some awards, and you may be surprised to find out that one of the top glamping resorts is right here in Wisconsin. We will find out about it when we talk to the Dirt's CEO, Kevin Long. We'll do that after this on Spanning the State.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend Accunet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which Accunet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
All Brewers games are on sale now. Coming up, a weekend showdown with the Yankees, Friday, April 26th through Sunday, the 28th. Start the series with Friday's hockey night. Then take home a limited edition Brewers City Connect Tumbler Cup at the game on Saturday, the 27th. Presented by Quick Trip. Don't miss out on a marquee weekend of baseball. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Spring into savings this month at Heiser Automotive. It's the perfect time to upgrade into a new or used vehicle, and just in time to enjoy the warmer weather. Your satisfaction is our #1 priority. Our team will assist throughout the process to help you make the best decision. Plus, as an added thank you, you'll receive our exclusive Safe and Sound program. This includes the Vehicle Exchange Program, Roadside Assistance for Life, and much more. See all details at Heiser.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
The process with Grandview was virtually effortless. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
You're a rich girl and you're gone too far, 'cause you know it don't matter anyway. You can rely on the old man's money. You can rely on the old man's money.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
And I'm Brian Noonan, and I'm wondering if Hall & Oates are calling everybody who glamps a gold digger. I don't know how that is. Well, if you haven't heard of glamping, I don't know where you've been. The Dirt is a platform that is for campers and about campers, and it helps people who camp discover rates and share camping spots and all of that. And The Dirt recently released their Glampy winners for 2024, and the CEO of The Dirt, Kevin Long, joins us now on WTMJ. Hi, Kevin.
How you doing, everybody?
We are good. This is exciting. First, can you please draw the line for us between camping and glamping?
Well, pretty simply put, you put a little bit more comfortability into a camping trip, and it becomes a glamping trip. And if you're 7 months pregnant, I suggest you look for some of these great glamping spots that we'll talk about today.
I already had the baby, so now I have to camp with an infant.
So when did glamping, I guess, start to evolve? When did it become a thing, and when did the Dirt start really looking at it to give out these awards?
Well, the Dirt's over 10 years old, and the Dirt is the #1 ranked camping app, and we have in both app stores, and we have all the public campgrounds and all the private campgrounds and free camping. So users come to there to find that last-minute spot or to find free camping solutions. But in the last 3 years, we added glamping to a category because it just kept getting more and more popular. And now a good percentage of our inventory on the Dirt are glamping spots. And when I talk about glamping spots, I'm talking about you're going to A-frame cabins, you're going to go sleep in a safari tent with a bed like you'd find at home that might have heat and electricity. I'm talking extreme comfort.
Now you're talking, Kevin. I like that.
That's right. And there's no reason that camping has to be uncomfortable. And if you go out for 2 to 3 days and you bring back a lifetime memory and you change your experience, that's what we're all about at the Dirt. And we don't care how you do it. We just want you to get out there and have fun.
So is a better distinction when you go camping, you're kind of bringing your own tent and your own accommodations versus glamping is you're renting something that is very much still a part of an outdoor experience?
When you're going glamping, you are walking up and everything is set up for you. You may be walking down a trail and walking into an Airstream that's already set up. You may be going to a cabin that's up on stilts, potentially in the trees. When you walk in there, do not be thinking you're going to be sleeping on the ground in any glamping experience. That's not glamping. Glamping is you're up on a cot, you're up on a bed, you have heat, you are comfortable, and that is the whole point of it. But yet, you're still out there in the woods, and you can still call yourself a camper.
So what do you look for when you're giving out the Glampy Awards? And we're going to get to the Wisconsin tie-in for this because it's very exciting. But what are the criteria that the Dirt is looking for when you're awarding these glamp grounds?
So we've been doing the Glampy Awards at the Dirt for the last 3 years. Anyone can nominate a property, and the Dirt team chooses the winners. The criteria we use are 1, overall glampiness, 2, originality, and 3, Instagrammability.
Oh, the kids love it for the gram.
Oh yeah.
So there is one of your winners this year of the Glampy Awards is here in northern Wisconsin. What can you tell us about Sailor Springs glamping, and what set this apart from other places in Wisconsin and other places that were nominated?
Well, I'll tell you, if anyone is up near Bayfield, Wisconsin, you're going to want to check this place out. This is a creekside A-frame cabin near Lake Superior. And what's cool about this property is, number one, it's really new, right? They just got up and going in 2023, so it's just a year old. And you're looking at a campground that has 3 sites located just 2 miles from Bayfield. And what's nice about it is, and I wouldn't say it's, this was something that I thought was interesting when I saw this as the winner, is it's not your traditional, like, here's just this big wide open A-frame. I'd actually put it more of like in a glamping, cute, smaller, more boutique A-frame, where you're going to go inside this A-frame. The design on the inside is really fun. You have just a simple little bed. You have a side bed as well. And you're not surrounded by another 500 campers, right? And that's what's interesting about a lot of these glamping locations. You're on private property that you normally can't go to. And now you get access to this great experience further away, deeper in the woods, but yet you get all the creature comforts of home.
And what's this going to cost people? Is it the same as going to a hotel? Is it same, like a little bit more than just getting a campsite off of the, Wisconsin State Park site?
So this glamp ground, their sites go around $100 a night, $100 to $150 a night, depending on how many people you bring.
Now, Sailor Springs, I'm looking at the A-frame, and I've been looking at the other winners. There seems to be a range of rusticity amongst the glamping sites. Some are very. You look at them and you go, "Wow, that's some high-end stuff." And the A-frame looks really cool, but you are out in the woods. There's a couple chairs. There's a porta potty, and yet that's still glamping because you're inside with the cool A-frame, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Wisconsin has a bunch of really, really cool glamp grounds that are out there, and private campgrounds that have glamping as an option. Just to name a few of them, and I'll kind of give an example of some of the you mentioned some more rustic glamping versus like the fancier glamping.
Yeah.
If you number one, go get the Dirt app, number 1 app, download it. You can look up any of these campgrounds.
And that's Dirt with a Y, we should point out.
Yeah. THEDYRT. Or you put in camping in the App Store, we come up number one. You'll see it right up at the top. So, you're in Wisconsin, you're cedar or red cedar glamping. That's one campground to look at. This is like a classic glamping tent that sits up on a wood frame. So imagine like a safari tent. The difference is you're coming in and there's a queen size bed there, right, instead of the cot. So it's kind of like that next step up. Another one to take a look at in the Dirt app, it's near Lando Lakes, Cody's Point and View Resort and Glamping Campground. Now this is where you'll have some options. Okay. And this is what I call a glamping campground that has like a step up there, because they have everything from cabins to Airstreams that are just like vintage trailers that never move. They're just like set there as almost like a permanent cabin on their own, all the way across to glamping tents. And, that's on the North Twin Lake. And imagine having those options, right? Who doesn't want to go camping there? What a nice experience.
I would love it.
The third one I'd put out for your listeners is River Forest Campground and Outdoor Retreats. River Forest Campground Outdoor Retreats. Really cute tiny cabins on 40 acres near Nicollet National Forest.
Oh, wow.
When do you get to go to Nicollet National Forest and walk on someone's private 40-acre land and stay in a nice, comfortable little tiny cabin? Come on, who can't do that? We can all go camping. We can all go make those experiences.
Yeah.
Even Brian
I dig a cabin.
Even Brian's saying that, maybe I do want to do this.
No cabins. I was just in a cabin. I like being out in the woods in a cabin. That's fine. So everybody download the Dirt, the DYRT, and celebrate all of the great camping, glamping, everything that is in Wisconsin. Kevin, thanks so much for being with us today. I appreciate it.
Have a great day and get outside.
All right. That's Kevin Long. He's the CEO of The Dirt. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what's coming up on Wisconsin's Afternoon News and wrap things up. It is Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial